Hi, everyone. Welcome aboard Friday Hangout webinar. So happy to see so many people joining in. Hope you had a good week. We are just letting people come in here for a couple of minutes. We're doing quite a lot of things on the tech side, and as I said before, we're dividing up the webinars, so I'm not talking so much about corporate finance and educational stuff on the Hangouts. It's more a Q&A session. I'm happy to say that we have some more practical news, maybe not the most exciting week, but very practical news. Let me start with one thing. 2 weeks ago, we announced a competition on social media where we actually want you guys to post your projects that we want to list on World Equity Expo. And I think it's a very exciting way of bringing the business of members closer to us. Obviously, also a very good promotion. Problem that happened was that Facebook apparently has a rule against self-promotion. And it's a pity because we actually pay them a lot for other marketing, but apparently you're not allowed to do competitions like that. So it wasn't possible to post comments. So everybody was getting back to me. And I know I talked about this last week, and I was wondering how to handle this, because WhatsApp is actually how we want to communicate, but we need this to come out to the public in general. So long story short, we took the decision to repost this on WhatsApp instead. And it is, I will actually show you where it is. I will do a share screen. Beloved share screen. Where do we have it? I have so many windows open on my browser. Let's see if this works. So here we go. So it is posted under Liquid Open Discussions, company listing competition. So it is basically the same thing as we did before. I actually just reposted the same post. And what we want you to do is to comment here, click comment, and you put in the company details. And we will give this 2 weeks now to let it set in. Otherwise, it's too rushy. So next Hangout, we'll look at what we have here. And then the week after, we will be doing a voting on this. So I think that is pretty cool. We are going to have another issue happening inside World Equity Expo. Finally, the long upgrade we have been waiting for a long time, you know, the external landing page. And this is because sometime next week, the real external liquidity promotion will start. We have a pending time for this, which is 5 o'clock on Monday. But knowing tech, knowing that sometimes we have delays, I would say I'm saying next week. But we are boosting a lot of external marketing now from that. And because of that, to drive liquidity and liquid in the marketplace, we now have to release the landing page. Those two being done, and the reason for this is obviously that the basics with the transfers that I will come to have now been fixed. So moving on after that, what we then can do is we can start pushing on all the companies. I had P2000. We're going to have a presentation made by the founder of ICSI Gold and so on. So the ecosystem is starting to come together very nicely. In the last week, we have been speeding up the token transfers between the Pernon wallet and the Dragon platform. And our CTO has done something very, very impressive. He's actually created a script. It was very advanced, but very thoughtful of him because it's free. If you go into Dragon, you click transfer tokens out, then that is free. There's no gas fee in doing that between Pernon and Dragon. But when you then send from Dragon elsewhere, wherever you want to do, he has created a script that actually captures, it's dynamic. So it brings up the lowest possible gas fees and holds the cost down for you. So very clever solution. I was impressed. So these are now moving out. Many of you have seen your tokens being processed faster and faster. The reason is it is 100% automated, but as you test a new system, you want to check all the details. So we have a manual pending check right now that we're sitting and clicking. We have about 2,500 transfers in that queue, and they are going through right now as we speak. Also, in regard to that, the liquid asset management program is has been agreed how we're going to close down and actually pay out the final profits. Dan and Kate and I have had discussions about this all through the week, and we've agreed all the mechanisms. So this is very close now. That means that you will have additional free liquid as well. So I do not know exactly where in the Pernum wallet that will be, but there will be a function to take that out. And the reason why this is important is that we have had a massive interest in the staking product since we actually launched all three now. On the long staking, we have a lot of people coming in. And do remember this, there are extra incentives until next Wednesday or Thursday is the 30th. So don't miss out on those. As you know, you're getting extra liquid tokens for every staking that you activate. So very happy to see that huge interest there. And speaking of which, another important thing we are doing now is we are resuming our weekly written updates. As of today, there will be a newsletter. I understand that even if we are doing translations and subtitling and so on of this update, it is far easier to translate the written update into other languages as well. And there's a lot of members who have been missing out and complaining that they can't get the information. So we are resuming that as of today again. So I hope you guys will like that. I'm going to look through some questions here, and we'll see. Like I said, the liquidity is building up, and obviously many of you are looking to liquidate. Like I said, a couple of ways. One is to go through the staking programs, which is a fantastic way of generating fiat currency. And the other way is to obviously trade as the liquidity increases, but it is taking time. I have a couple of more specific questions about token transfers. I'm just going through the list here. Well, as I said, they are going through. There's 2,500 in the queue, so they are going through. Also on cash payouts from the Pernum wallet, this has also finally been resolved. They have now been able to, they have always been able, but we have agreed that we will change the way we are doing KYC on the payments to speed things up. So we are, as I wrote in my last update, before September 30th, we should be pretty well up to speed on that. So have a lot of very, very good constructive questions here from Joao. Thank you so much. So let's see here. Your first question is, can I move the balance from liquid asset management to Dragon and liquid exchange without losing the 20% income? Unfortunately not. When you close the LAM program, then the 20% extra in the LAM trading program disappears, but you get all the funds back. So that's how it works, because the 20% extra was coming from the assets inside Pernum. But you will obviously make a lot more from the staking programs. Your second question is here. In power staking, the minimum yield is 2.5% per month from profit. And you know, that reminds me, I'm going to actually make a note. We have not published the profit reports because obviously we have a forecast now. And your question is, on what percentage on average can you project this from the capital? And is it 2.5 minimum? Well, the 2.5 minimum is on your whole capital, so including your tokens and everything. And when it comes to how much more, it's very hard to say because, you know, the only thing you can say is whatever I say will be wrong or incorrect. But I would say that, oh, sorry, for some reason my phone is ringing here. Okay. Oh, I apologize. Somebody on the wrong time zone here. Excuse me. So I would say that a reasonable range on the whole capital, including your tokens, is, I mean, the YEM stake or the liquid stake would be in the range of 3 to 5% per month. That is what I think is a realistic average to calculate. I'm sorry, guys. I usually switch this off. Sorry, guys. And your next question, excuse me, guys, I lose my focus. That dollar balances on Pernum are still pending. And this is, like you said, an issue for many because you want to be able to use these for dollars for Ethereum gas. This is a very good point. I will actually bring that up to the Pernum people that we could do that. I think that's an excellent thing. And the next question, IBAN and the cards purchased on Pernum, will they be linked to the Dragon Global account? Yes, they will. That is correct. So they will be linked there. That is where you will be able to administrate your card and everything. And this was unfortunately the workaround that we tried to avoid, but we had to do for regulatory reasons. So we tried for a very long time not to do that, to keep everything inside Pernum, but it wasn't possible, unfortunately. And your last question is on the self-staking. So this is in regarding to an example. So if you're buying a house, what do you tell the homeowner about the deal? Well, what I would recommend you to do is to use my video that's on Dragon TV, which is only about self-staking, because it breaks down the process. And what I would say is that they are not carrying any risk, because what you do is you actually do an agreement with them that they are getting paid over time. We have two models. One is where they actually sign a trustee deed with our trustee company, which means that we are the guarantor in the middle. It means that it will pay faster and we will secure them in the middle. The other model without the trustee setup that you can also choose in the system will pay slower because you can't leverage and secure the institutional stake as much. But it's very easy because basically it is paying that person over time. They do not only sign, they only sign this over to you, depending on what you agree with them when the payment is complete. So all they do is they open an account in Dragon and you point to them. So very easy. But again, I recommend you to set up the video, and we are changing our support. As I told you guys, we have been overloaded and we have too many channels. So as we integrate the support in our platform, we will have specific help for all these products when you need help with those. So looking about more. Okay, here's a good question. What about the Unicorn Network reverse takeover? Was supposed to happen this week? Yes. I heard from the court, and my reaction was slightly irritated. My business partner's reaction was throwing stuff around the kitchen. So the court actually approved the capital increase last week. And then the person in the court needs a second person to just countersign the decision. And she has a vacation and is back on October 4th. Can you believe that? So 2 weeks, it's already done. We are losing 2 weeks because of this, and we're going crazy. This morning, actually, we had our lawyer call them and say, look, can we pay somebody to come in and do this faster? So insanely irritating. But The good thing is that it's actually stamped and approved. So we are very, very close there. We have had more discussions about also speeding up the point of sales part as well. So let's see here. So here's an interesting question that I think we should be discussing here. One of our members says, we don't want staking programs, airdrops, or commissions. All we want is an effective bridge coin is ready for trading, improving liquidity for EM holders. Well, I agree. In an ideal world, well, I agree and I disagree. And I think this is very important. You see, in order for a bridge coin to generate liquidity, the underlying asset needs to be liquid. And this is what we have to do. We do not have free liquidity to use. So what we have built is business models that allow you guys to liquidate. And the liquidity in the exchange is going to grow over time. But this is not a given. It's not a on and off switch. In that case, you would not need us. So you need to see that for what it is. And if you go back 6 months in time, you actually didn't have any liquidation options at all. So this is a work in progress. And as I said, this takes time, but this has we are actually on track to build a very, very strong investment powerhouse using this. So no, it might not buy milk over the day. Well, it will if you use the power staking, but it is going in a direction where you are building wealth. So that's the reality of the situation there. Right, I'm gonna do two more questions here as well. Yes, Joe, that is very interesting, but I need to read a little bit more about the crash of Evergrande to actually make a good comment. But what Joao is asking about is that the collapse of Evergrande in China, how that will affect the US dollar, especially the tether. I don't know at this stage. I don't really know how significant it will be, but something will happen, but I mean significant for us. But it's absolutely a very interesting effect. And the funny thing is that there's not a lot of media about it as much as it should be, because it is a very, very, very big event. So it'll be interesting to see. Okay, so one last thing. Okay, this is a very good question. Why don't we not list Liquid on an external exchange? You know what? That is absolutely in the plans for the future. But remember that the primary objective of Liquid is to bring liquidity and people trading on the World Equity Expo. So in order for us collectively to get more liquidity, I believe that in the beginning, this is better, it's stronger. And that is what we need to do. So we will absolutely do that at a later stage while we are when we are there. Look, okay, cool. So guys, this will round up the questions for today, and many questions relate to World Equity Expo trading. Trading is there, but it is increasing. And in terms of the questions relating to the transfers, well, they are underway. I know I've said that many weeks, but you will be seeing this. And do check today, because today a lot of token transfers are being executed, literally in these minutes as we speak. So do check your wallets there. Other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next week. Take care. Thank you.